Who will be the sleeper at the running back position? Well, I guess everyone could potentially be considered a sleeper because these are all new dudes. And I don't know, they have like some
Why
sort
does he
of...
look like that?
What do they have, like a midget posing? It looks like a child, and they got...
That's how I look when I'm throwing out drills to the Pee Wee players.
That is not a great
practice.
picture of Deuce Vaughn. It really isn't.
No, he kind of looks like maybe
Toss me one, son.
like a comedy, like a Wayans Brothers comedy where they put a man's face on a kid's body. And
When he's a little baby, is that what you're talking about?
Biggest sleeper in the running back room. This is a tough. Can Rico Dowdle be considered a sleeper?
I think anyone, because there is no... Who is the standout running back?
Okay, Rico Dowdle's my sleeper.
Okay, and I would agree with that, and I want to go with it, but I'm going to hold back. Man, does Zeke count as a sleeper?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I think so.
I think Zeke has the most potential to be the best contributor, because you look at his numbers from last year, and I do think that, like, obviously he's lost a step, but he was playing on that New England team last year that just was not a great team.
Yeah,
And
they
still
sucked.
And if he puts up the numbers that he did with New England, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yep.
You know, it was only a 3.5 yard average.
But he had like 40-something catches.
Exactly. He added
Couple tugs.
so much through the air. And also, if that's where he is, he's either the best on the team, which is sad, or he's second best on the team, which is good.
Which I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Rico's kind of I actually wouldn't even mind if Rico and Zeke are kind of just like
Toe to toe.
a little toe-to-toe, and then give me a little midget boy there.
Sure.
You guys just named every single player on the team. Why is everybody...
I gave you mine. Rico Dowdle is my sleeper.
Zeke. I said Zeke. You could say either one of those.
I'm going to say Deuce. I think Deuce is going to be our sleeper.
You know,
because I'm a very impressionable person, unfortunately, or fortunately. I watched a breakdown video. I believe it was actually from J-Tuck.
What about how bad Deuce was last year, and for some reason it made you think he was the sleeper pick?
No, he breaks down and he was talking about like why he feels like Deuce Vaughn is going to have a solid season and how they drafted him to be the Tony Pollard replacement.
Give me what would you consider for Deuce Vaughn? What would be a successful season?
I mean, if Deuce Vaughn can get over 800 yards this season,
Oh my God, that would be
that's a successful season.
That's more than a successful season. I think if he gets more than 400 yards, that's a successful
Which
season.
I feel like in terms of having that speedy down back, we don't really have that right now. Like we got Rico Dowdle and Zeke, who are typically kind of in the same cloth in terms of the style of back. Maybe Rico is a little bit more of an explosive back versus Deke. Versus Deke. Deke. But we don't have that one fucking running back who can kind of have that burst and have those
Give me your Deuce Vaughn stat line this year. Give me your Deuce Vaughn stat line.
Do you want me to read you Vaughn's stats?
Let's get it from last year, just so you can curb your 800-yard expectation.
Nope.
I want us all to do,
Hey.
because we all picked our sleepers.
Deuce Vaughn.
Correct me if you got them. We all picked our sleepers. I want us to now say what we think our stat line for our sleepers is going to be.
Well, we're going to start with Adam, and I'm just going to pull up from ESPN.com. If you don't know ESPN is a sports website, and they also do television.
So I'll read out Deuce's stats from last year. Carries 23, yards 40, average 1.7. Correct me if you got him. Reception 7, yards 40, average 5.7. And he had a long of 13 for rushing and long of 11 for passing. So let me tell you,
let's double it for him.
Looking at these stats, here, man, for him to have 800 yards, that wouldn't be that would be way higher than even
King Kong.
Yeah, it'd be King Kong season. But what are his stats? Give us your stat line for your boy.
Okay,
Ducey.
so we saw when we played Pollard and Zeke together, we saw both of them, Pollard eclipsed 1,000 yards, but Zeke didn't. What was Zeke's? He was close to 1,000 yards. So we had two backs that almost kind of totaled or accumulated.
But that was also with your first and second down backs. So you think Deuce Vaughn's going to be your second running back?
I
over Zeke and over Rico Dowdle.
Well, you first asked, what do you think a successful season for Deuce Vaughn would be? And I'd be like, 800 yards
would be amazing.
Yeah. So having
if you got 400.
Well, I mean, if he had over 500 yards, that's a decent season for him. But I still think if you're looking at where we're at right now, I think Rico and Zeke are going to be the backs that are more in a competition on who's going to get that kind of first run, or like we're going to need that back for the speedy kind of plays or the all-purpose yards in terms of possibly putting what's his name, Deuce Vaughn in for some of the check down passes.
So what's your stat line for Deuce Vaughn?
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Hopefully more than 40 yards.
Hey,
I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna average 4.8 yards.
Oh my God, you're a maniac.
running.
Yeah, I think
You're
he's
a
gonna. I think
maniac.
he's gonna average 4.8 yards. I think he's gonna get.
Adds the forever optimist out of us. That's 100% sure.
Bandwagon Bob was not fair that Anthony's arguing about your pick.
I am arguing it. Look at his stats right there. He might not even make the team this year.
No, he'll make the team. He'll make the team. He'll make the team specifically because
Is that
we don't.
your stat?
We
He'll
don't
make the team.
He'll make
That's
the
his
team. That's
stat
what I
line?
said. Here's the thing: we don't have a speedy down back. We do not have that guy who has that.
Rico Dowdle.
Hey, 4.8. Okay, 4.8
4.8
yards
his
per
average.
carry. Yeah, so what? How many yards is he getting?
One carry.
Yeah, one carry for 4.8
No,
yards.
no. I think realistically, 650 yards is where we're going to see him
Okay, so
Total.
total.
Okay.
I think
So
that'd be a very successful season.
That would be very successful.
But I do think he's going to have more receiving yards than rushing yards. This
So how
season.
many? Well, we need that then. So 700 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Man,
Wait,
I'd be stoked for it.
You think 650 rushing, 700 receiving? Dear Lord.
Yeah. I'm going for it.
Okay.
I'm going for it.
For the
Hey,
sake,
I'm going for it.
look, I hope you're right.
Hey,
I hope
I'm
you're
going
right
for it.
too. But we aren't Deuce Vaughn believers. We aren't.
No,
And
I know that.
I just have a very hard time believing that he's 4.8 yards per carry would be amazing for any running back. Especially, we didn't have even a running back close to that last season. Look at that, Rico Dowdle. Look, okay, so just think of what
But the thing is, our running game was not solid last year.
I know, and what makes you think it's going to be solid this year?
Times have changed.
Oh, is it the two
The
rookie
bruisers.
linemen?
yeah. Hey, different offensive line.
So to put
You know what? Sorry, what's funny is by Adam speaking that it spins the perspective of two rookie linemen on your team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
you're excited. Oh,
Listen,
but then it's
Cooper,
like the other way
Cooper
is,
Beebe, and Deuce Vaughn have played together.
man, I'm going to go. So I got my guy, Rico Dowdle, and I think he's going to be the sleeper. But even if he gets if Rico Dowdle can have 920 yards for a 4-point average and 6 touchdowns, that would be huge for me.
Okay, what was Tony Pollard's yards from last year?
I don't even think he broke 1,000.
So
he did
Just break 1,002
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
So
1,005 with a 4.0 average.
and
okay,
only 6 tutties.
and we didn't think that Tony Pollard was having a good season at all. So what?
You're right. Technically 4.0 average. I'm happy with that. It's the lack of touchdowns though, and it was the lack of touchdowns, and we shouldn't shoulder it all on TP20's shoulders, but the running backs need to score more than whatever it was 12 rushing touchdowns. They need 20.
The more we look at
group.
this and see stats, I think AJ's pick of Zeke being the sleeper might be the best pick with touchdowns as far
Pretty
as
much.
touchdowns.
Touchdowns?
Yes.
Touchdowns. Well, we talked about this before.
Touchdowns are junk.
No, we want touchdowns.
Look at Zeke in 2022. If he could do anything, if he could do something like that, that's kind of Zeke's 2022 is kind of what I want Dowdle to do this year.
Yes. This is what Dowdle should do this year. Zeke should do what he did last year, but add on 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
And if Adams do spots,
coming.
4.8. Hey man, I'll
Well,
that'll be mint if it happens. It's just all I'm saying. It's a bold prediction.
Okay.
even if he was good,
It's a bold. Even if he had a good season last year, that would
Okay.
would have been a bold prediction. He had a 1.7 yard per carry. He couldn't even
Okay.
make it on the field last year.
So can you bring up Tony Pollard's stats one more time? Okay, go look at his 2019 stats.
Yeah, that's his first year. That's
Rookie.
his compare his rookie year compared to Deuce Vaughn's. His is 5 times better.
I know.
Deuce Vaughn is not going to match Tony Pollard's rookie season. in any of his
Well,
stats, including touchdowns, and he only got 2.
And actually, you look at his 2019 and 2020, they probably, definitely 2019, they probably should have gave TP20 the ball more.
Totally.
And 2021.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, they slept on him first way
Too long until he broke his leg and then made him the starter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
all I'm saying is that I think the Cowboys have mismanaged the run game for a few years. And I think 2022, we saw like a good kind of like coexist, coalesctation. Sounds like
I like the definition. I'm going with it.
coalestation.
Did he just coalestate us?
Okay.
That was coalescated.
Sorry, one more thing. What was Rico Dowdle's 2022 stats?
He was hurt.
No.
Sorry, the Malik Davis's. Like, who was our RB3? I guess you could say it was like Malik Davis then.
Yep. In 2022 he was.
I'll get to it.
And yeah, Davis had a decent
He did.
2022.
Davis is another guy who I would like to see. Here's Davis right there, 2022. So 12 games played, 38 carries, 161 yards, 4.2 yards average, and only 1 touchdown.
And that was basically one game. Like most of it was out of one game.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is my thesis off Deuce Vaughn isn't changing where I don't think he's an NFL running back.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's my main thing. Not that I'm not attacking your pick. I'm just attacking it as that I don't know if Deuce Vaughn.
Mom would disagree that you're attacking my pick.
Well, because I think we have not liked the Deuce Vaughn pick from day one. Why would I automatically change that when the dude had a 1.7 yard per carry? And when you say 4.8, that's a big jump. I think if you would have said 3.8, that would be a big jump.
Well, if we
a big jump based on last year's numbers, which I don't think, based on the stuff that's laid out in front of me in terms of what our run game was last season, we can't really look at that. You have a brand new offensive coordinator.
last year,
for last year, our run game was absolutely despicable. Surprised that TP20 had over 1,000 yards. I think Deuce Vaughn's going to have a solid all-purpose yards number, specifically if he's kind of getting some wide receiver rotational routes in there.
But doesn't that make you nervous, though, that they're even putting him in reps? They're trying to find a spot for him because they're kind of saying, oh, maybe he's not a running back.